What is up, guys? Brandon here, and today we're going to be talking about the Create a Class system in Call of Duty World War II. So Create a Class is kind of different in this weird menu you've got for World War II. It's called Soldier, not Create a Class anymore. And to create your classes, you go to Divisions. That's where the classes are found. So if I go into Divisions, you can see I have 5 divisions, all created with 2 different of the divisions. So let's talk about the divisions. First off, the divisions, there are 5 of them. I only have 4 unlocked because one of them I will never use. One is Infantry, which works well with your assault rifles, and we'll get into that. Airborne, which works well with your SMGs. Your Armored, which is LMG based. Your Mountain, which is sniper. And Expeditionary, which is really good with your shotguns and stuff like that. Kind of like what Battery was in Black Ops 3, you know, each one of those people, that's kind of what the divisions are, but there's only 5 of them. And you level them up and they give you extra perks based on what division you have chosen. So like for Infantry here, you can see that on level 1, which is the base level, you start at level 1, you're given a rifle bayonet. The second one, it's an additional primary attachment, which is a really big deal. You're able to put 3 attachments on your weapon, which is great. Number 3, extra magazines. I'm finding in this game that that's not very helpful, just because of my type of play. And then level 4 is move faster while aiming down sights. And then level 5 is a classified rifle. You're given a classified gun. Airborne has its own, and each division has its own. So Airborne, you start with an SMG suppressor that's removable. You can put it on or put it off if you're running an SMG only. You can, at level 2, you sprint for longer distances, which is like extreme conditioning. Level 3, you can climb over obstacles faster, which is like extreme conditioning pro or something like that. 4, increased sprint speed, lightweight, and then level 5, you're given a classified submachine gun. For Armored, which is your LMGs, it's not unlocked for me because I don't use LMGs, but right off you're given a bipod that's put on the LMG just for stability when you're either in a window or lying down. Number 2, you're immune to shell shock and tactical equipment, so tac mask. Level 3, you take less fire damage, so if someone's running the Molotovs and you run through a Molotov, you'll take less damage from it. Or if someone is using the incendiary shells for the shotguns, you'll get less damage from that. Number 4, you take less explosive damage, which is actually really helpful in this game because the grenades are crazy good. And then number 5, you're given a classified light machine gun. For Mountain, this is your sniper class. 1, you're given sniper sharpshooter, which I'm not sure what it does. I'm not 100%. Number 2, you're invisible to enemy recon aircraft while moving, so Ghost. Number 3, you're hidden to player-controlled streaks, so the things like the fighter pilots, the glide bomb, though you can't be seen by those. Number 4 is dead silence. You're silent while moving, which is kind of a big one. And then number 5 is classified sniper rifle. So Expeditionary 1, this is for the shotgun people. The first one you get is shotgun incendiary shells. You can load those in. Number 2 is select a piece of tactical and lethal equipment. In the classes, you only get 1 slot for either a tactical grenade or a lethal grenade. And with level 2, you get to select a piece of both. Number 3, you throw equipment faster, farther, and while sprinting, so kind of like fast hands and gung-ho put together. Resupply equipment from killed enemies for number 4. You can go around and pick up grenades from dead bodies, and then number 5 is a classified shotgun. So those are the 5 divisions. Now, how do you use them in your Create a Class, and what's the strategy behind them? Well, as you can see, in mine, I run mainly Infantry and Airborne. I have 2 Infantry classes and 3 Airborne classes. We'll get into why. So my first Infantry class has the Assault Rifle STG-44 on it, and it's got 3 attachments as well as that bayonet automatically put on there. So as you can see in this first class, I run the Infantry with the STG with the reflex sight, the grip, and the quick draw. Now, the reason why I run these things is because the iron sights on the STG aren't that great. They kind of take up a lot. That reflex sight makes it so that you can see a little bit more of the map instead of just the gun, and that helps with your aim. Grip and quick draw help with the accuracy of the gun. Quick draw makes it quicker for you to aim down sight, and then grip makes it more stable. And then the secondaries I don't really use a whole lot. The P08 is what I have unlocked and what I use. And then my lethal equipment is the sticky grenade, the nth degree 74 ST, I guess. Those are the sticky grenades now instead of the Semtex. And then there's these things called basic training, where it's kind of like an extra perk that you can put onto your class that can go on any of the classes. So on this one I have Hustle. And there's a lot of them in here. I use Hustle because you reload faster and you can do it while sprinting, which is pretty good. There's a couple of other ones in here, like Rifleman is overkill, take 2 primary weapons, but I mostly use Hustle because you're able to reload faster and you're able to reload while you're sprinting. And I think I use that on all of my classes, but we'll see. So the next one is an Airborne class with the PPSH. The PPSH is one of the best guns in the game with the STG. So I run the Airborne division with the PPSH with quick draw and grip. And then I use Hustle, obviously the P08, and the sticky grenade. Now, why the change from Airborne to Infantry for this class? Airborne gets you to go faster. Airborne's the quick, kind of move around the map fast and be more lethal. The other thing is that suppressor from the Airborne makes it so that when you get back in behind the enemy, if you take the flank routes and you get in behind them, you're able to get kills more silently, and I like that. So this next one's kind of a weird one. I have an Infantry Division class, but I have the PPSH on it, and the question is, why did I do that? Well, I decided to sacrifice the suppressor on it for a third attachment. And that third attachment was advanced rifling. What I realized while I was playing the game, and you'll see a clip of this while I'm talking about it, what I realized while I was playing the game was that I was having a hard time competing at distance with the PPSH, and I needed something that would give it a little bit more range. So I went in and I thought, okay, if I do the Infantry Division with the PPSH on advanced rifling and keep the quick draw and grip, I'll be able to do better at distance. And you'll see in this gameplay on Arden Forest that, yeah, I'm able to get better kills at distance, and I'm going up against people like that have an STG and a PPSH without that third attachment, and it's really a good game changer. That's one of the things about the divisions and the guns that you'll have to understand, is that even though the PPSH is not really meant to be used with the Infantry Division, it's really meant to be used with the Airborne Division. If you trade off some of the things from each division and you find classes that work well with each division and each gun, you'll do well in this game strategically. Now, in terms of the PPSH versus the STG is still going to win out in terms of distance, but the PPSH is much better now with the advanced rifling perk as well as grip and quick draw. So my next class is the Type 100 with the Airborne Division. I have Lookout on it. I don't know why. It's going to be Hustle now. And the sticky grenade and the P08. These last two classes for me are really tryout classes to kind of learn the different guns. So I have the Type 100 on here, and then I have the Waffle gun on the second one, essentially the same thing. I just want to use it. I just want to try it, see how I like it, and get used to the guns. That's the whole point. So overall, the class system is kind of different, but kind of the same thing as well as what we've seen in the past. I mean, you still have the specialists, kind of, in terms of, like, divisions, but they're how you get your perks now, and you get to pick one extra perk that'll help you through the game. In my opinion, I run a lot of infantry and airborne because they're the ones that are very in-your-face kind of gameplay, and that's the way that I play. I'm a very objective-based player, and those two divisions are better for me for that. If I'm playing like TDM, I'll probably use the infantry and PPSH versus the airborne and PPSH, because if I'm using the airborne and PPSH, I'm just basically giving myself a suppressor, which I'm okay with, but I'd rather have the power, and depending on the map, like if I'm playing, let's say, Arden Forest or Aachen, I want to have long range, so the infantry with PPSH is going to be there. But if I'm playing like Gibraltar or Point de Hawk, I want to have the short range of the airborne, which would be very helpful. Now, in terms of what division you should pick, you need to pick a division that is based on your play style. Don't just sit around and say, okay, I'm just going to use infantry and airborne because that's what everyone else is using. If you're one of the people that likes to do objective-based game modes and you can kind of slay a little well, then infantry and airborne are going to be the best ones for you. If you like to snipe, use mountain. If you're an LMG kind of player where you like to play support, use the LMG class. If you're good at shotguns, use expeditionary. So in terms of create a class, my final suggestion is to choose something that you're going to be comfortable with. I currently am running the PPSH and infantry a lot because I'm finding that the advanced rifling is helping at range, and the PPSH can do a lot more with that. But I'm also realizing that the STG is a very, very good gun, and it probably would win a lot more gunfights against the PPSH than vice versa. Other than that, thanks for watching, guys. I have more videos coming out later today where we're going to be talking about the maps, and we're going to be talking about a couple of other things in terms of the game. Let me know what you guys want to see down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe while you're here, and have a good rest of your day.